This is what I came here to do. I walk that wire and I take that step. Won't look down, got no regrets. Won't look down, got no regrets. I was made for this. I was made for this. Born in the wild, formed in the fire, built for the battle. I was made for this. I was made for this. Mind over matter, silence the doubters. I had the power. I was made for this.
Welcome to Lauren Live EMG. I am Christopher Gergen, and I am here to give you guys all an update on what is going on, not only with the lawsuit, but in this ongoing push to make sure that we have open and free elections that are not interfered with by illegal votes, illegal voters, and so forth. So we have a lot to cover tonight, and we have a lot of things to talk about, so I hope you guys will stick with me throughout this entire show tonight. First thing we want to do is give you an update. We have, in the process of gathering all of this information, we have determined that there is actually a lot more problems than we had originally thought. So we have in our possession tonight a file, or two files, that contain all of the names of folks who are in the United States, to include Washington State, but all across the United States, who are here in the country illegally, but who have filed tax returns. And we also have in our possession tonight files that of all of the people who are here, who are non-citizens, who are here legally and here on visas. And we are scrubbing our voter file list in Washington State against all of those lists to determine just exactly how many people are registered to vote in Washington State that are not legally able to do so. Now, one of the things that we have brought up, ladies and gentlemen, is that the Secretary of State's office is not maintaining the records according to federal law. Now, we've had several supporters reach out to the Secretary of State's office, and I want to read for you. We really need to get into this because it's really, really mind-blowing, the mentality here. I want to get into this with you, and I'm going to read the response. This is an official response from the Secretary of State's office. Specifically, the question was asked, what are you guys doing about people that are voting, that are here illegally, or here legally, but are in either case not able to legally vote? What are you guys doing about that? So this was the response from your Secretary of State's office. And I'm going to read this thing in its entirety, okay? It says, "Thank you for your message. You are correct in stating that one must be a citizen to vote. This is, as you mentioned, written in our state constitution and also in federal law." Now, there's a caveat here. Earlier today, Mr. Culp did a live during the lunchtime hour, and if you haven't seen that, you need to go watch it. Very good. He talked about Article 6, and Article 6 in the U.S. Constitution specifically outlines, ladies and gentlemen, who may vote and who may not vote in an election. So let me finish what they said. You are correct in stating that one must be a citizen to vote. This, as you mentioned, is written in our state constitution and also in federal law. There's no legal requirement. There's no legal requirement for verification of citizenship by our office, county elections offices, or the State Department of Licensing. The burden is on the person who registers to understand that citizenship is required and to sign an oath attesting to this requirement. The oath is on the voter registration form and, per state law, reads, "I declare that the facts on this voter registration form are true. I am a citizen of the United States. I will I will have lived at this address in Washington for at least 30 days immediately before the next election at which I vote. I am at least 16 years old. I am not 16 years old. I am at least 16 years old. I am not disqualified from voting due to a court order, and I am not under Department of Corrections supervision for a Washington felony conviction. If you wish to see this become a requirement codified in law, you may reach out to your legislative representatives. There is also a declaration required with each ballot cast. RCW 291.84.030 restates the penalty as being a felony for violating the provisions of elections. If you wish to challenge the voter registration of someone you know to be ineligible to vote, please refer to RCW 29A.08.810, which outlines the basis for a challenge. You may bring a challenge and the duties of, or who may bring a challenge and the duties of the challenger. I hope this information is helpful. Please let us know if you have additional questions. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is in writing, and I'm going to copy and paste this and put it in the in our feed here. What they're saying is that there is no legal requirement for Kim Wyman, Secretary of State, to verify citizenship. There is no requirement for any county elections offices. And there's no requirement for the State Department of Licensing at all. None. No requirement. All we, basically what they're saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that we just collect all the information. We don't actually see if it's true or not. This is the dumbest thing I have ever seen. This has to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And this is going to be the argument, ladies and gentlemen, that they bring in court when we take this to court. And yes, the case is still in court, and we're going to be filing a motion here pretty soon, another motion to get this case heard, and so we can present our evidence. We have some fantastic evidence. We have video evidence of nefarious things going on in Whatcom County. We have depositions that are admissible as evidence. This is all evidence that we are bringing. We have been working very, very hard on this for the last 6-7 weeks. And so what Kim Wyman's office is going to say is, well, if there are illegal people on there, then it's not our responsibility. It's not our responsibility to figure it out. We just mail the ballots out. You've got to be kidding me. I have photographic evidence of 6 ballots mailed out to people that are dead and have been dead for 5 years. Photographic evidence. It's going to be submitted. Your elections, ladies and gentlemen, your elections are fraudulent in Washington State. No question about it. There is no question about it. They have no idea who is supposed to vote and who is not supposed to vote. All they know is they have a list of people and they mail out some ballots and then they count them at the end of the day. That's all they know. That's it. That's where we're at. That is your Washington State Secretary of State. Unbelievable. It is unbelievable. And they're going to try to wiggle their way out of it, but we're going to hold them accountable. We're going to hold them accountable at the ballot box. We're going to hold them accountable on their phones. We're going to hold them accountable in their email. We're going to hold them accountable wherever we need to hold them accountable. Whether it's protests, whether it's rallies, doesn't make a difference. We're going to hold these people accountable because this, ladies and gentlemen, is bullshit. I'm just going to say it. It's complete bullshit. Now, I'm going to read to you actually what the what Article 6 actually says, just so you know. Okay, Article 6, elections and elective rights. Okay, so you can look this up for yourself. This is all out there and for anybody to look at. Section 1, qualifications of electors. All All persons age of 18 years old or over who are citizens of the United States and who have lived in the state, county, and precinct 30 days immediately preceding the election at which they offer to vote, except those disqualified by Article 6, Section 3 of this Constitution, shall be entitled to vote at all elections. So if you go down here, for the people who cannot vote, Section 3, who is disqualified, all persons convicted of infamous crimes unless restored to their civil rights, and all persons while they are judiciously declared mentally incompetent are excluded from the elective franchise. So that's it. Those are the only people supposed to be voting. Ladies and gentlemen, why is no one scrubbing dead people off of the list? Dead people, it doesn't say that you're disqualified if you're dead. It just, I mean, that's just kind of a given, right? If you're dead, you can't vote. Well, not in Washington state, because Kim Wyman's office hasn't scrubbed that list in at least 4 years that we know of, maybe 5 or longer. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. And then I'm going to play a clip for you guys today. So this is your Republican Party. We're going to get into the party a little bit today. I'm not here to attack the party as a whole, but the party, quote unquote, leadership is doing you no favors. They are not on your team. They are defending this and saying that, yeah, this is okay. This is not a problem. And we have video evidence of this just out today. And we're going to play a clip of this. And then I'm going to get into a little bit how JT Wilcox, who is weak, he's got no chest, he has no heart to stand up for anybody but himself and his own political ambitions. We're going to lay out for you how he literally threw the Republican Party under the bus throughout the state in this last election. We're going to lay that out for you because the Democrats were able to raise more in 1 week, W-E-E-K, 1 week, than he was able to raise in 2 years. Because I don't know what it is about Mr. Wilcox, but he likes to just sign orders that Jay Inslee sends across his desk. Oh, yeah, that looks good, Mr. Inslee. Well, that looks good. I'll just go ahead and sign this one, too. Whatever you want. I swear, it's like the governor has a bowl of like dog biscuits in his office, and anytime he needs something, he calls for JT. Come on, JT, come here, get a biscuit. Run along, little buddy. I need you to go ahead and sign off on this. Anything the governor wants, JT Wilcox gives him. It's unreal. It's unbelievable. We're going to lay that out here in just a second. But first, let's go ahead and play this clip. We have a newly minted. We told you we're going to look at corruption, and we're going to look at all this nonsense. We're going to look at everybody. Doesn't make a difference. Republicans, Democrats, independents, doesn't make a difference. If you're working against we the people, we're going to call you out on this show. So go ahead and check this clip out. This actually happened today.
Thank you. I think I've got what I need from the budget, so I'm going to turn to politics a little bit. And I know some of you guys have addressed this in the past week or so, but Loren Culp obviously renewing his attacks on the Republican Secretary of State over the election, saying 500,000 votes illegally cast, things of that nature. And then combined with the fact that 2 Republican congressmen and women from the state signed on to that Texas lawsuit last week that was ultimately dismissed by the U.S. Supreme Court. I guess my question on a political nature, do you guys think that this is doing damage to the Republican Party at a time where you're a minority in Washington state and it's razor thin on the national level?
I think this is a time when all of us just have to do what we think is right. And as you said, John and I made a statement recently, and I think we have been extremely consistent over the last year, talking about political violence, threats of violence, whether it's from the right or the left. I don't think anyone has been as consistent as we are in talking about violence from both sides, not just the other side from us. So we've been very, very open about that. And we do that because that's the right thing to do. We have also said that we've got a lot of confidence in Secretary of State Kim Wyman. She's a national leader when it comes to running good and honest elections. And one thing that has been a little under the radar, I just read that the hand recount was completed in the 5th legislative district, almost 100,000 votes. I've been around these recounts a few times. That is highly scrutinized. There was millions of dollars spent on that election, and probably tens of thousands of dollars spent on legal teams watching that hand recount. And guess what? It changed by a net vote of 1. That's the kind of elections. After a hand recount, 100,000 votes, it changed by 1. That's the kind of elections that we're running in Washington.
Yeah, I think JT said pretty much everything I would say. I would just add that not only do I have a lot of faith in Kim Wyman to run a good election system, I also have a lot of faith for her to look into any irregularities. If there is a problem, I trust that she would get after it and find the problem and deal with it. And that's, the foundation of a long-term, fair and honest election system.
Jeff, did you have a follow-up?
Yeah, I guess the only follow-up is, would you have a message for Lauren Culp?
Who's Lauren Culp?
Fair enough.
Who's Lauren Culp? All right, there's Senator Braun. So Senator Braun, the guy who said that, who's Lauren Culp? 20th Legislative District. He's a senator out there. Lewis County. Do we have any Lewis County people in the House? Lewis County, Thurston County, Clark County, Cowlitz County. Mr. Braun, I've got a message for you, sir. Honorable Senator, sir. 69% of everyone that voted in Lewis County, where Centralia is, where you live, 69% of those people voted for Lauren Culp. 62% in Cowlitz County voted for Lauren Culp. Almost 50% voted in Clark County for Lauren Culp. So you, sir, need to get your head and ass wired together and realize that your constituents and 1.75 million people in Washington state know who Lauren Culp is and voted for him. So if you don't know who he is, then you probably didn't vote for him. And if you're the Senate minority leader, it becomes problematic for you politically when it becomes apparent that you didn't vote for the Republican on the ballot against Jay Inslee. And it makes it double apparent why you and the goons in the legislature continue to support this governor while he puts businesses out of business, continues to not pay people their unemployment, and continues to screw 5, 6, 7 million Washington citizens. So the fact that you don't know, I don't know what your major malfunction is there, Senator, but you need to get yourself fixed and you need to get yourself right. You know exactly who Lauren Culp is. Lauren Culp is a #1 best-selling author. Lauren Culp outworked all of the candidates that you supported, and he whooped everybody's ass by double in the primary. So I'm not really sure what your major malfunction is, sir, but you need to get yourself fixed and quit being disrespectful. JT, come on, man. Let's step up here. You didn't think I was going to leave you alone, did you, JT? So we're going to come talk to you a little bit about the things that you're doing and why you can't get yourself fixed and why you continue to get your ass kicked in every election cycle. Here's an example of why. We already went into some of this, ladies and gentlemen, about a week and a half ago. I laid out for you some of the things that had gone on, some of the things that at any given point, he could have said, no, I'm not signing this extension. I'm going to force the governor to call a special session. At any point, the minority leader in the Senate could have said, which was not Braun, which was someone else. Braun is newly minted. He's still got that new car smell. Like he's barely even been elected or chosen as minority leader, and he's already stepping all over himself. So I don't know. I don't know what we got going on in the Republican Party. But listen, let me tell you something. At any time, either one of those two guys could have stopped it and forced a special session, brought everybody back. We already talked about that. If you haven't watched it, go back and see that other video. We're not going to go through all that again. Now, this is the part that you don't know, okay? Now, when the governor, so we know that the unemployment, we got robbed, $500 million, right? $500 million, people aren't getting paid. They don't know what's going on. At the same time, all this is going on, everybody in the state gets raises. The teachers' unions, all those people, they get a huge amount of money. Now, where do you think all that money went? Earlier, I said that the Democrats raised more money in 1 week than JT Wilcox did in 2 years. So where do you think all that extra money went with all those raises to the teachers' unions and all those folks? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it went to the Democrat Party. Because JT's inaction, because he's got no chest, no huevos, because he's got nothing, he's weak. He doesn't want to fight for anybody. He doesn't want to fight for Republicans. He doesn't want to fight for conservatives. He doesn't want to fight for we the people. He doesn't want to fight for small business. He could care less. As long as he stays in power, that's all he cares about. So he refuses to fight. The Senate Minority Leader, who is gone now, refuses to fight. What happens now is all those raises get put into play. That money gets funneled to the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party then gives it to candidates across the state. You had people that were supposed to win. Senator Steve Oban was supposed to win. He's supposed to be reelected. And his opponent had extra money to spend against him. Luann Van Werven up in Whatcom County, she got beat. Bill Brook got beat. There's a lot of people that got beat. It wasn't a couple weeks before the election. JT was out there bragging, oh my God, we're going to pick up some seats. And we netted 0. He was lucky not to come out with a loss. And this is who we have representing us as conservatives, representing we the people, representing small business. This guy, he could care less. He could care less. That's what happened. That's what happened. And no, so it's either one of two things. Either he's incredibly stupid, which is a possibility, but he's either incredibly stupid or he's completely inept. I'm going to go with inept. I've met the guy. He doesn't come off like a moron, right? Maybe he is, maybe he's not, but he comes off as bright. But that just leaves completely inept. He has no political IQ whatsoever. He has no political IQ whatsoever. And because of that, we're getting killed. We're getting murdered, and businesses are going out of business, and there's lawlessness and all kinds of things. And all this guy can talk about is he's worried about he puts out these press releases about violence and these different things. He even picks on Sutherland, one of his representatives, for putting out a statement. And what's going to happen is he's going to try to box this guy in like he did Matt Shea and try to push this guy out of the caucus. That's exactly what he's trying to do. Because if you don't agree with JT, he doesn't have the chest. He doesn't have the courage to come up and deal with it as a man. Instead, he's got to backdoor stuff, and he's got to do these different things. It's unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know about you, but Mr. Colt, myself, different people involved in this organization, we're all tired. We know 1.75 million people, more voters than have ever voted for a Republican in Washington state history. And this goon, what's his name? John Braun. This goon, he doesn't know who Mark Hope is. Listen, we're getting screwed, ladies and gentlemen. You need to be mad as hell. So what you need to do is you need to call Mr. Braun. You need to call Mr. Braun right now. We're going to put this number up here shortly. And you need to call Mr. Braun and let him know who Lauren Culp is, because apparently he doesn't know who he is. We need to let him know. We need to let him know. It is our duty as citizens to let him know who Mr. Culp is, because apparently he missed the memo. Apparently he missed the 250 plus events that we put on over a year and a half. Apparently he missed the August 4th election. Apparently he missed all these things. Apparently he missed all the flags, and he missed all the signs, the 20,000 signs across the state. Apparently this guy missed all this stuff. This guy, you need to reach out to him. It's 360. Go ahead and write this down. It's 360-508. 6540. Give Mr. Braun a call. We're going to put that number up here in just a minute after we're done here. Give Mr. Braun a courtesy call. Let him know that you want him to know who Lauren Culp is, and you want him to know who you are. If you live in any of the districts that this guy represents, you definitely need to know who he is, because Lewis County, Cowlitz County, Clark County, all those areas down there, that was all Culp country. I can tell you that right now. So it really is unbelievable. Now, the last thing I want to go over is Mr. Wilcox decided that he wanted to lie to you people and tell you the 5th legislative district. Okay, he said they did a recount in the 5th legislative district and it was a net change of 1. I support Mrs. Wyman and what she's doing. These are the kinds of elections that we're running in Washington State. Well, all right there, genius. Does anybody know where the 5th legislative district is? It's Eastern Washington. It is literally all red out there. The only county out there that is kind of purple is Whitman. You're talking about Stevens, Monterey, Spokane, Whitman, Garfield, and I think Columbia. I might be missing one. So what you're saying is that, wow, we did a recount in Republican areas and, oh my God, it came out right. Wow. Well, thanks for that, Captain Obvious. How about we look at a recount in King County or Whatcom County or Island County or Thurston County or Pierce County? How about we do on the Puget Sound, and let's see if you have the same squared away, everything is fine message, everything is just cheery, and everything is great message for the voters. JT, you're lying, and you know you're lying. You're being deceptive. Stop it. It's not okay. That's beta male stuff. Come on, man up, man. Give us some chest. Give us some heart. Give us some huevos. That's what we're looking for. Ladies and gentlemen, we deserve people that are going to stand up for us and stand up for our rights and stand up for our vote, that every vote counts. One man, one woman, one vote. That's it. That's it. You've got to be a citizen. You can't be crazy and you can't be a felon. How is that hard? We love you, ladies and gentlemen. We know it's the holiday season. We don't want to be negative. We don't want to steal your Christmas tree and be a Grinch, but we got to tell you what's going on. We're going to continue to stay on this story. We're going to continue to stay on this evidence. And it's just as soon as we get some motion in the courts, we'll bring that to you as breaking news. So with that, my name is Christopher Gergen, representing Mr. Lauren Culp. We hope that you guys have a great evening, and we want to say Merry Christmas.